How's it going, everybody? It's the minifigure guru, and today we have another custom set video. We're moving into 2015 with Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers 2, pretty big one here. It starred Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, James Spader, Chris Hemsworth. I could go on. A lot of big names here in this movie, and it made $1.4 billion, being, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the third movie to cross the $1 billion mark in the MCU, and still one of the highest grossing in the MCU to this day. So, made a good chunk of money. Moving on to my thoughts here, I think this is an overhated movie. While yes, most of the criticism it gets is mostly justified, being kind of overstuffed, maybe being a little too jokey, kind of throwing away Ultron. The people that hate it, I feel, had expectations going in, and that's the difference. I would have been in 5th grade, meaning 10 years old, I think, right? That makes sense. So I would have been 10 years old when this movie came out. Nor did I really care much about the MCU. While I think I know I saw Iron Man 3 in theaters. And I know that I'd watched all the movies before that, leading up to this. I just didn't examine the trailers. I didn't have any expectations for the comics or who Ultron was or any of that. So I go in and I just take it how it is, and I love the movie. I think it's better than the first and all that. Then I hear that, wait, people don't think it's better than the first, and it's all because the trailers set it up to be that way. Personally, I know this is unpopular, it's better than the first movie. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. You have just the first movie scaled up. The characters are deeper. The themes are deeper. In my opinion, James Spader's Ultron, in terms of just this movie and just Loki and the Avengers, Ultron is better in my opinion. Now, while Loki's a better villain as a whole, he also had way more movies. So man, I don't know. I just think that Avengers Age of Ultron is better than the first one. But wow, that was a long thought section there. It's got a 76 in Rotten Tomatoes and an 83 audience score. You know what? I'd probably give it 85-ish. So a bit higher than what the audience gave it. While yes, it's not a perfect movie, I think it is better than the first. And if I gave the first one a higher rating, then I take it back. But with all of that being said, we're going to move into the sets. And actually, you know what? Before we go into that, I do want to say that it was very difficult to come up with minifigures for this one. This is the point where we reach where it is very difficult to come up with figures. There are some movies throughout Phase 3, if you're wondering, as of recording, I'm well into drawing the Black Panther movie, so I'm a good chunk of movies ahead. And if you're wondering, it has been very difficult to come up with ideas. Some movies easier than others, but I will say that there are definitely a good chunk of movies where I had to break my rule about not making figures Legos already made. But, we'll get to that when we get there. But speaking of that, our first minifigure from our first set is going to be Captain America. While, yes, this has been made, I redid it. Starting up top, we have the helmet. I used the new one, obviously. This version, Captain America, came out 2015, 16. Just those 2 years. So it had the printing on the head directly. So there's that's the first upgrade. Moving down to the torso itself, there are some slight upgrades. If you look at the original, it does take a lot from it, but I did add what I felt was necessary. So are some upgrades. Moving to the left and right, moving to the arms, we have detailing there that wasn't there before. So the Avengers logo is there, some padding, all that jazz. Moving down to the legs is where most of the new detail comes in. We have more detailing. We have detailing for the boots, detailing for knee pads, layers, and flaps or whatever. If you don't know why in the movies they add more detail, it's because that texture is very important and shows up much better on film. That's why pretty much every single hero you can think of has a textured look to him. Deadpool, instead of being flat, texture. Spider-Man, list goes on. I can't really think of any right now, but like Black Widow, so on. So yeah, that's my Captain America. I'm very proud of this, and I think it's a great upgrade. Next up here, we have Hawkeye's wife. I didn't bother to look up the name, my bad, but here she is. So she uses the kind of flowing hairpiece back, and I'm very happy with how the face turned out. I truly think that this captures the likeness of the actress perfectly. It's, in my opinion, like the best face I've done without like some help from Lego or like other sources that I've taken inspiration from. This was all on my own, and I'm very happy with how this turned out. But yeah, that's my custom face. And then we move down to the torso, which has some detailing there to show like a sweater, and then just simple black pants or legs. So yeah, that's my. I can't think of her name, but that's Hawkeye's wife. Next up here, we have Nick Fury. So in my Winter Soldier video, I referred to the fact that I was thinking about including a certain version of Nick Fury in like casual outfit, but decided against it since I would be using it here. So, well, here it is. It's very simple. So I made like a custom beanie for him. He has just kind of blank expression. He has a simple sand or tan sand kind of color shirt with some buttons, and then a simple black coat and black pants. Overall, very simple minifigure, but I'm so happy that I finally got to draw up a unique Fury. We usually get him in the same outfit every time. Our fourth and final minifigure here is going to be Thor. Happy upgrade here. I think that the 2015 one that we got, while very good, wasn't perfectly accurate. So I made one that was perfectly accurate, but I guess I can do that since I have hindsight and all that jazz. So first off, hair upgrade, obviously. Angry expression, red cape, that's all there. In terms of the torso, you got some detailing to show the cape continue on, the iconic 6 dots that I feel like I've said this a million times, but that like all the Asgardians have. Some more detailing throughout. If we move to the arms, you got mostly tan, but then you have some red parts that are like under this like arm protection. It's really weird. I mean, you see the picture that I have for you guys, but very strange. Legs continue the detail from the torso while adding some more. But overall, yeah, very simple minifigure, but I think a good upgrade, adding the arm being correct and adding the legs and then adding more detail to the torso. So that is my Thor. The set itself would be Hawkeye's house. So it would be a little bit bigger than the one pictured on the right for sure. But, that's just the best reference I could find for a Lego Hawkeye's house. But again, a little bit different. You'd have probably the top being able to come off or something like that to access the interior. And then you probably get some little trees and stumps that you could recreate the scenes outside with. And it would be around $70. So that is set number 1. Moving on to set number 2, our first minifigure is going to be Dr. Cho. For some reason, I thought they had made her, but I guess they didn't. So here's mine. Mine is very simple, just uses a hairpiece that kind of comes up. She has a simple smile on her face. Moving down to the torso, she has this kind of blue and white pattern going on for her nurse gowns. But yeah, she's kind of significant, like weirdly significant to this movie. So I guess a good inclusion. And weird, because I just thought she came in one of the sets. But yeah, it's my Dr. Cho. Next up here, my upgraded Iron Man Mark 45. Another upgraded one. I wrote down the Iron Man suit, and I do wonder if when I wrote it down, I meant something different. Because I may make a video on this, but what I do is at the beginning of the phase, what I'll do is I'll take out my notebook and I'll split it into different parts, and then I'll go through the IMDb cast, just read the names and see if there's anyone who hasn't been made or anyone who needs an upgrade or was very inaccurate. With Age of Ultron, I had nothing really. I was scraping at the bottom of the barrel here. So I wrote Iron Man, and I wonder if I meant upgrade or a different suit, but ended up just doing an upgraded version. I'm very happy with how it turned out, obviously. Added some arm printing, and then just more accurate torso and leg detailing than what Lego did. Legos is great and all, but again, I obviously think I did better. So you got the comparison up on screen at some point when I'm talking about this Iron Man. But yeah, that's my Iron Man Mark 45. The fourth? Wait, is this fourth? No, this is third. My gosh, I'm so dumb. The third minifigure here is going to be New Vision. Kind of weird, I know. But so it takes inspiration from the current Lego Vision, while also just somewhat improvising and somewhat taking from what's there. There isn't a really good shot of anything below like his chest. He's either squatting or we don't see him, or he's in motion. So I kind of had to make it up to be completely honest with you guys. I'm not even gonna lie here. So yeah, I kind of made it up. I know that he has the under detailing there in that kind of darker pink. That's just regular abdominal and like, detail, that autonomy detail. Above that is this kind of purple layer, which are the almost like veins for him, and they're on the outside. It's kind of weird, but I mean, you probably know what I'm talking about. They're on the Lego and they're on the actual Vision. And then above that are these gray pieces. So, yeah, he has the Mind Stone in the correct color, his purple eyes. Bit of a, concerned, confused look. I'm happy how this turned out. Another one that was like, well, I guess I have to do this one because I really don't have anywhere else to go. But, yeah, I called him New Vision. That's my Vision. Our fourth and final minifigure here is going to be my War Machine Mark II. So I was planning on doing like the War Machines in like a separate CMF with all the Iron Man suits, but it turns out that they kind of fit well into these movies, so that's what I'm doing. As you can see, the only detail that's not in either dark gray or light gray is the O2 and this little like bird sign. He uses the Scuba Iron Man chest piece once again, since he's much bulkier than Iron Man. And then just, detailing throughout to show silver and, add some contrast. He has the white eyes and chest reactor, or arc reactor chest thing. But he doesn't need an arc reactor. You know what I mean. I'm very happy with this figure. And, they do War Machine kind of dirty. I'm not even going to lie. He should be in dark gray. They should know this. Mine's in a bit darker shade of gray, dark gray. It's a shade that Lego technically doesn't have, but I just thought it worked better than the gunmetal gray that Lego uses. So I shifted it down a color. I think they'd be able to do that. The set itself would be the Stark Tower interior. If you watched my Avengers video, this was the original concept for the Stark Tower in the Avengers video, but decided to scrap it and go with the OG Stark Tower. But since I needed a set this time, I did the Stark Tower interior. So the picture on the right is a bit less accurate of what I would want. So I would want pretty much the bar, which leads down to the seating arrangement, and then maybe a window pane or something like that. It would be more of a play area rather than a display piece. Hypothetically, you could use it as a display piece, but it would be more of a play thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm very happy with what I got here from what I had to work with. Lego did a phenomenal job on the original Avengers Age of Ultron set, so I'm very happy with how this turned out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me if you think I missed anyone, and I'll see you guys next week for Ant-Man.